If you're like most people, you've heard of Baldur's Gate 3. It's all over YouTube, it's all over TikTok, it's all anybody can talk about right now in the gaming space because the game is just that goddamn good. This game has countless hours of content. You can probably play 3, 4, 5 different times and probably see something you didn't see in previous playthroughs. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and that's no different for Baldur's Gate 3. So when you finish the game, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit around and just daydream of Astarion pushing you down on a couch and... I'm Micromanager, you can just call me Micro. Some people suspect I'm just 7 cats in a meat mech slowly collecting a cat army in order to take over the world, and I'm gonna tell you some other games that you can play once you've finished Baldur's Gate 3. The first and most obvious game is going to be Divinity Original Sin 2. You're gonna feel very familiar with this if you've been playing Baldur's Gate. The only difference is that mechanically, this is not a D&D game. It's going to have very different mechanics overall, a little bit of a different rule set, but it's overall a really good game. You're going to get a lot of really deep story stuff from the characters. You're going to get to know the characters. They have backstory. They're very interesting. They're deep, and there's just lots of loot, lots of shit to do. You like doing the weird stuff in Baldur's Gate, picking up boxes, throwing stuff around, filling chests full of equipment and then throwing at somebody. You can do it in Divinity Original Sin 2. You're also going to be dealing with a lot of the environmental stuff that you were able to do in Baldur's Gate 3. All in all, I would say if you're looking for something else to play after Baldur's Gate 3 and you haven't checked out Divinity Original Sin 2, absolutely give it a shot. I think you'll like it. And if you don't, send me hateful messages saying, hey, this was a piece of crap. Why did you suggest this game to me? I wanted more Baldur's Gate 3. I wanted more elves to plow. I wanted to hump a bear. Why can't I do that here? But Divinity Original Sin 2, go check it out. Did you think Baldur's Gate was a little too horny? Were you one of those like, this game is so horny, I don't like it. It's terrible. It's constantly throwing sex in my face. I just wanted to play a game. If you just want tactical RPG, cRPG goodness, I would like to point you into the direction of Solasta, Crown of the Magister. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Pretty sure it's Solasta, doesn't matter. If you enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, but would rather have more focus on the gameplay mechanics, the strategic combat, I can't recommend Solasta enough. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like Solasta. There was a lot of things they didn't like about it. But the thing that I did like about Solasta is the thing that Baldur's Gate 3 didn't give us, and that is the ability to roll our stats, which is my one big complaint about Baldur's Gate 3. But Solasta, you want to keep rolling for those best stats? Give it a shot. Solasta isn't the deepest story that you're going to see. You're not going to get a lot of character backstories being built. You're just going to develop your 4 characters. You're going to go on an adventure. There's going to be an overall story told. You're going to have a lot of fun. This is also going to be very easy to digest because it is also 5th edition D&D. So your choices for the first top 2 coming out of Baldur's Gate, easily going to be Divinity Original Sin 2 if you want more character development, more deep story and plot and characters with backstory to develop and learn about, go play Divinity Original Sin 2. If you just want pure combat and 5th edition D&D rule set, go play Solasta. If you're looking for something silly and goofy, but still turn-based and tactical, check out this game. It's called the Dungeon of Nahulbuck, the Amulet of Chaos. It's pure insanity. It's like sitting around an actual tabletop playing a game of D&D, but with that banter, the silly goofiness, the in-jokes. If you like stuff that makes fun of RPG tropes, if you like RPG jokes in general, this game, I promise you, you're gonna have a great time. It is difficult. You would think a game that's more built around comedy is going to be funny and silly and simple. It's not. It is rather complicated, but once you get the hang of it, this game becomes an absolute gem. I can't recommend it enough. If you're just looking for a silly adventure with some silly characters doing silly, ridiculous things, give Dungeon of Nahulbuck, the Amulet of Chaos a try. I can't recommend it enough, and I believe it's based off of a French radio show or podcast. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Go check it out. It's funny, it's silly, you'll like it. Trust me. Or don't. Now, we can't be talking about D&D and turn-based strategy games without also looking at Pathfinder games. Pathfinder is basically D&D, but the 3.5 edition. If you're looking for a straight-up D&D experience, Really good game, really good gameplay, interesting characters, interesting world, interesting quests. It's just a fun experience. If you're looking for some more D&D feel, the Pathfinder games are the way to go. So you've got this one, which is Pathfinder Kingmaker, which I can only recommend for most people if you turn off the kingdom management section of this game. It can be confusing, but at the end of the day, if you just want a straight up D&D adventure experience, it's a beautiful. And the sound design, I can't praise this game enough. The only thing that I hated about this game was the kingdom management. That's why, if the total aspect of kingdom management turns you off, then you need to check out our next game, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Now, this game is much, much better, in my opinion, as an experience for overall just a solid RPG. None of the weird kingdom management mechanics. It's a great story. If you're just looking for D&D, play the Pathfinder games. Maybe just grab them when they go on sale. They do frequently. You won't be disappointed. Just do it. Take my word for it, or don't. And if you don't like these games, again, just leave some angry comments and say, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Thanks for wasting my time. The last games on the list, of course, are going to be, well, it's Baldur's Gate 3. You're talking about games that are like Baldur's Gate 3. Why haven't you suggested Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 yet? Well, there's a reason that they are last on the list, even though that they would be first in my list as a lover of cRPGs and an old fart. So here you are, Baldur's Gate 1. Yes, it's a fantastic game. Yes, it has an enhanced edition that was put out by Beamdog. The only reason I don't recommend it at the top of the list is simply because this is not a turn-based cRPG. This is what is called turn-based with pause. So it's basically an action game, but you press the space bar, you pause the action, you issue your commands, and your party then initiates those actions. And also, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are based off of the now very ancient AD&D rule set, and it's gonna feel that way. It's gonna look like a foreign language to anybody who is not familiar with AD&D. Your armor class is gonna be in the negative. You're gonna be dealing with THAC0, which is to hit armor class 0. Many of us older RPG enthusiasts have some PTSD from playing advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is where it all started. That's where I found a love for these games. I still have my original copy of Baldur's Gate 1, and Baldur's Gate 2 is over there on the shelf. I still play these games to this day. They're fantastic. Boot up a new game, roll up a character, go on some adventures. Now granted, in the original Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, you're not going to have as varied gameplay as you're going to have in Baldur's Gate 3. You're pretty much going to have a straightforward experience. You're going to pretty much want to explore all the maps, see all the things, but generally there's only like 1 or 2 main outcomes based on your decision. There's not going to be a whole bunch of branching stories coming off of your different choices, but overall, it's a really good experience. I highly recommend it. And I could recommend all of the Infinity Engine games. So that's Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale, Icewind Dale 2. There you have it. You wanted to play some games, you've beat Baldur's Gate 3 once, twice, 3 times, 100 times, I don't care. You're sick of it, you want something new. Play those games, give them a shot. I promise you're going to find something in this list that you're going to enjoy. I know many people who have just started getting into cRPGs thanks to Baldur's Gate 3. It makes me super happy, super excited to see more people falling in love with a genre of video game that I have been in love with since the late 90s. Yes, I'm old. Shut up. Maybe instead of judging, you should just go play these games for yourself, okay? If you want to see more videos from me, whether it's going to be review videos, ranting content, or just some Let's Play crap, feel free, hit the like button, subscribe so you can see more from me. I would greatly appreciate it. And go check me out over on Twitch. I stream 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, starting at 9 a.m. till pretty much whenever I feel like it. That's Central Standard Time. And also check me out on TikTok. Maybe support me elsewhere. I would greatly appreciate it. Stay weird, nerds, and stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one.